How can this puzzle teach us something about our expectations of God? My name is Carrie, and this is Chapter 6, Gray Expectations, as part of our online Gray Faith study. And this week we're talking about our expectations of God and how that affects our faith and the way that we interact with God. And I had this thought as I was putting together this puzzle, which eventually is supposed to look like this. But right now it's not quite there. But I thought one of the most frustrating things when you're doing a puzzle is when you put together two pieces that don't actually fit. They look like they fit and they seem to work until later on when you can't make the puzzle work, and all of a sudden you realize that you have to go back and undo those pieces. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to complete the puzzle. And I think that is a lot like our expectations of God. When we have expectations of God that are false, that are not quite in line with who he really is, then those expectations don't fit with reality. And we base our lives around those expectations. And then we wonder why why our faith doesn't seem to make sense, why God doesn't seem to make sense. And I think sometimes God has to remind us that we have to trust in him. We have to let go of the things that seem to make sense to us. We have to let go of our expectations and our beliefs about how things are supposed to work and surrender to him and let him shape our lives around his truth and around what is real, around who he really is. There's a verse, Proverbs 3:5-6, that says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding." Don't focus on the things that make sense to you, but instead, in all your ways, acknowledge him and he will make your path straight. I really believe that as we go through life and as we surrender our expectations to God and we let him reshape them and we let him put them in the order that they're supposed to be in, then he begins to order our lives in a beautiful way. And it still takes faith. It still takes patience. We have to wait on him and we have to put the puzzle together slowly, piece by piece, even when it doesn't make sense to us. But when we trust in him and when we act on who he really is, then he creates this beautiful puzzle with a picture that we could never have come up with on our own. So I would encourage you today just to go to God with your expectations of him and give those to him and say, all right, God, are these really in line with your reality, with who you really are? Because I want to build my life on you and your reality and not on my own expectations. I'm willing to take apart these pieces that don't fit so that I can start building my life according to you and according to your plan. Thanks for tuning in. I hope this was encouraging to you. Tune in next week. We'll be talking about Chapter 7, Gray Walk.